thanks first to Melissa for inviting us here tonight. This is just to reiterate some of the things that she's already said, but all of the companies that I'm going to be speaking with tonight are creating incredible platforms that allow regular people like you and me to turn things that might have started as passion projects or hobbies, things that we think of doing on the side after work, into entities that can become profitable businesses. And so to that end, that's what we'll be talking about tonight with Vipin, who is the CEO of sidetour, and joining him is Rasana, who is a sidetour host. And Vipin, I think, do you want to just open up a little bit about what sidetour does? I'm sure that not everyone's familiar with it, but I was looking at it earlier today and I've seen all of these crazy things that you guys offer in terms of experiences for how you can explore the city. I saw a historic gargoyle hunt with a New York City Parks Department veteran. I saw a graffiti tour, things that you would never think of on your own. So, I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, sidetour is a marketplace for experiences. We always say they're very unique experiences. The idea was born out of a trip that my wife and I took a few years ago, and the whole concept of sidetour is, if you think about the kinds of experiences that you seek out when you're traveling, the kinds of people that you look for, step into their shoes and experience their world. Why does that happen only the few weeks of the year that we leave our homes and our cities? And we're here in New York City. We're surrounded by some of the most fascinating people in the world who are doing incredible, remarkable things. And if we could step into their shoes on a daily basis, how much would that enhance the experiences that we have? So the kinds of experiences on sidetour range from, like the ones that you were saying, from you could learn graffiti with an aerosol artist at 5 Points in Queens, which is considered the graffiti mecca of the world. You can sled down the U.S. luge track with a former Olympic medalist. You can dine with this man right here, who's an investment banker turned monk at an East Village monastery. And the whole idea is each experience is hosted by someone who is uniquely qualified in their particular craft or domain. And the experiences are small and they're interactive, and you kind of get to know the person who's hosting the experience and the other guests that are there.
So when I first found out that Rasana was going to be joining us tonight, I was very excited because a couple of you might recognize his name. He was actually featured in some national press a couple of years ago for this very story, this trajectory going from sort of very classic Wall Street strategic consultant, investor, making 6 figures a year and leaving that all for this much more austere lifestyle. And so I wanted to know if you could share a bit about that story and just briefly, how you got to where you are today.
It's been a journey that started in 1991 when I first saw the movie Wall Street. An immediate impression. I've not got to get over Charlie Sheen. And I also wanted to own a yellow convertible and a blue motorboat at the same time. So I knew where I was going. But somehow... Sorry. Okay. Can you? No? Better? So, but somehow, on my way to Wall Street, I had this spiritual calling in 1996, asking the more deeper questions of life. So, for a long time, an ambition and a calling lived together. And I finally made it to Wall Street in 2006. The LPOs were an all-time high. The sign-up bonus at that time was $60,000, just to sign a piece of paper. And then I also saw a tank. So it was fascinating to go through that journey. But along that journey was when there was no background music when the decision happened. It just seemed very obvious where I had to go and what I had to do with my life. So that's in short the journey. And what I'm doing now is again, a banker who's worked 100 hours a week, couldn't sit quiet in the monastery. So I started a small education nonprofit through which we teach a lot of courses, including corporate workshops and leadership. And so that's what I do now, my time.
So, if you're anything like me, you will not know where to find the hidden monasteries of New York City. So, I wanted to know how you guys found each other. You were telling me earlier that Rasanath was your first side tour here in the US. You know, how did your paths path, and why did it make sense for you guys to pair up?
Yeah, so I met Rasanath because I saw him speak at a TEDx event 3 years ago, and there were 20 speakers. Rasanath was by far and away the most engaging and enlightening of the bunch, and so I stalked him and I followed him to the monastery, and we became friends. This is long before we started sidetour, actually. But the other piece that's interesting is I think when we launched sidetour, when we started, we're like, all right, we need our first 10 hosts. Who are those people? Who are those people going to be? No one knows anything about sidetour. So we started with people in our networks that we thought are remarkable people who would create an experience that would make other people talk about it. And so Rasanath actually saw the very initial stages of sidetour, from like the idea and the first version of the site, and he very graciously said he would love to